Cool, we should be good now. 50k, nice. You are at 50k. Let me refresh this page as well. There we go. Okay, so hi guys. We're gonna give it just a second so that people join in. Tarngard, I see he's already here. We're gonna wait for, well, I can invite, actually, I can invite, no. Oh, there we go. So Alexei just joined right now. And we're gonna wait for TB to also join. He just joined.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Hi guys.
Hey. I've just unmuted myself. We're gonna wait for Tarn. I don't know if he's already available or not. So we're gonna give it just a tiny bit.
Hey, Kira.
Not the best layout, but it's not bad either. Wait, let me see. If I make it full screen, does it look? Oh, there we go. This looks a tad better. Let me make this bigger. This way, this way. Nice. Good. I think Tarn is gonna have the same problem as I had with the camera. I had to stop the stream and restart it enabled in order to Discord to let me use my camera for some reason. But anyway, I don't know which of the sound are you hearing? Are you hearing the stream as well? No. Okay, you're not hearing the stream. That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna let this voice as well because you're not hearing the stream. So we're gonna give it 5 more minutes. But how was your day, TB? I managed to have a quick chat with Alexei earlier, so and you as
My
well.
day,
But how
my
was
day is
work?
like a Wednesday. Oh, work is fine. Work is fine. Not a lot of work right now. It's the beginning of sprint, so I don't have so much work. But still,
What do you
eh,
mean? The
this.
beginning of this the sprints for developers should be fully loaded.
Yeah, but some stuff are there that I cannot work on,
Ah,
and
okay.
I need to wait for that to finish.
I see. I understand.
How was your day?
Man, it was pretty full, but I'm pretty happy that I managed to get some shit done and we might go live with some functionalities thanks to that. So I'm pretty happy in that perspective.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's always good, especially that we're gonna have Monday and Tuesday off as well. Because it's St. Andrew and it's 1st of December and both are legal holidays for us.
Yeah, for you,
For
not
me,
for me.
but you were yes, you are employed by an UK company, so
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So Tuesday and no Monday and Thursday are free for you guys.
Monday and Tuesday. So it's gonna be a
Oh, Monday.
4-day
Okay.
weekend.
Oh, okay. 4 day weekend. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of good to be employed by a UK company because if one of the bank holidays, so like 1st of December, goes on a Sunday, the next Monday is gonna be free. No.
You're not disturbing our talk. Yeah, the trailer is not gonna give you that much of a context, but it gives quite a bit of it, I guess. Tarn just rejoined, so I think he's trying to get his camera to work or something.
Yeah, I didn't have any sound either.
Oh, okay. Hey, man.
Mm.
I'm trying to, but it
I had to
doesn't.
stop my stream fully. I had to exit OBS and enter the chat and start the camera and then start OBS in order to make my camera work for some reason.
Okay.
That's the only way I managed to make it work. Oh, I
Oh
see your
wow.
Okay. I don't have the
Yeah.
appropriate music for it.
One sec. I know how to fix this normally.
Also give a shout out to Darn. He's not in chat. Okay. Let me get his. Probably he's streaming as well. No, he's not. He ended the stream. Oh, he just ended the stream because he had to put the camera right. So hmm. Oh, don't worry, Kira. Enjoy your thing, and I'll catch you later. Well, Tongard knows what's up. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start with just a tiny bit of an introduction about what we're gonna do here. So hi guys, we got Steph here, we got Tongard, we got TB, we got Alexei. We're gonna have a small chat around Hotel Rwanda, which is a 2004 drama movie directed by Terry George. The action happens in Rwanda. uh,
1990.
yeah, when there was a civil war between the Hutu and the Tutsi tribes because of the EU troops retreating. And we're going to have a bit more of an in depth discussion around it. And we're just going to give a minute to Tarngard so he can try to get his thing working. And I think, TB, you have to mute the stream. Otherwise, you're going to hear my voice twice.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm muted the stream. I just only see you. So, and
Okay.
I think you had the civil war because the president got assassinated.
Mm,
Double check that.
anyway, there was a civil war, but the movie is not necessarily about the civil war as much as it is about the main character, which is called Paul Rusesabagina, and his wife and his role in the hotel he's managing and how he helped people. So it's not, we'll see. We'll talk about it. But yeah, that's the movie. And
Well, mm, according so according to Wikipedia, in
mhm.
part the Belgian colonists were in part responsible for the civil war because they were the first that made this classification between Tutsi
Hutu.
and Hutu, and practically the Tutsi were wealthier than Hutu, and so they made a distinction between these two. And the Tutsi were people that had more than 10 cows. It was like
Oh, okay.
I
Uh,
don't know.
No, I remember the distinction between Hutu and Tutsi was because of their
Uh,
nose.
their
If Hutu,
skin texture even, so they looked more white rather.
yes, I mean Tutsi had smaller nose, and Hutu were bigger, had bigger nose, bigger I don't know items in the face. Sorry, English
Yeah,
broke there right then.
Yeah, it
according
was a
to
very random system. They were closer to white people.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
was a very imaginary way to divide everyone. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. But when the Belgian colonies left, the Belgian army left, they so Tutsi were in control. But when the Belgian left, they left Hutu in control. So all the government just flipped around.
Let's uh let's not get into that context
Okay,
yet.
okay, yeah.
So are you're gonna go without the camera, Targards, or you're gonna try a
yeah,
bit more?
it's either camera or sound.
I'd rather have the sound. It would be more helpful with our
Because I've been
discussion.
trying to get it to work so I can make my camera work on the browser
Mm-hmm.
version, and I can hear you on the app
On the
version.
app version. I got it. Okay. So let's skip the introduction because we did it already while you were trying to reconnect around the movie. My first question to each and every one of you would be this one. What is that one scene in the movie that is the most memorable for you? So I don't want to nominate necessarily, but let's just keep an order of how we answer. So let's start with TB, Tarn, Alexei, and
I
I'll go last.
okay. I don't have like a favorite scene in the movie, or I think the most memorable scene where was when Paul went back to George to buy more rice, more beer, and everything after the Civil War started, and George casually had like a cage slave, if I can call that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just so casually about all the things that was happening around him, right? Like with all the killings, with all the women being sex slaves and everything. Then he was like, yeah, I'm gonna give you like 20 bags of rice, uh, 20 beers, and everything you want. And I was like, mate, what?
Okay.
I think that was the most memorable, in my opinion.
Okay. What about you, Tarn?
The most memorable, the River Road.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
When
hoping
he,
someone would mention that. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, it's also because it's the point when he realizes the genocide is real. So that's the first time he really comes in contact with that mass of bodies. That's
Mm-hmm.
also his reaction, and well, that's the most memorable point.
Yeah, okay. Alexei?
mm, yeah, not to repeat what others say, not maybe not the most memorable, but the scene that practically say that shit is going to be happening is that one scene when Paul and his Tutsi friend went to buy like beer or something, and that crate filled with knives fold, and all the knives were on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who said it, but there is, when a gun is showed in a movie or is described in a book, that means that somebody will get killed. So this scene was practically this this statement.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so for me, uh yes, there's so many other scenes and you guys already mentioned some of them, but for me, the moment when that journalist, which I forgot the name of, told Paul that the, getting this on the news will not help. People will look at the news and say, "Oh, that's so bad," and then they're gonna
Okay.
continue to eat their dinner. I think for
Okay.
me, that's like the moment when you realize, we are actually living that shit nowadays also, because if you think about it, we go on about our days, but there's people dying all over the world. There's people, like, you see it all over the news, and people are so numb about it, and they were so numb back then as well. And that's the scene that basically for me was another wake up call of how privileged is the life I have right now.
Mm,
Oh, yeah, it's just my point of view. It's okay.
okay. Okay,
The
I can see your point of view, but still, yeah. I mean, we are privileged. I'm not gonna say this, but at the same time, if all the people will just jump and help other people, it's gonna be a fiasco. I mean, you need to make sure who we're gonna help and everything,
That's
because
it.
if all the nations jump at a single war, we're gonna have world war again, depending on which country takes which sides. So I think sometimes it's better just to not intervene. But yeah, I agree with you.
I remember in those days it was where everything was rather more removed from you. So today, everything that happens in the world feels a lot closer than in the 90s, for
Hmm.
sure. Because it was literally as he said, we saw it on we saw it on the news. We said, "Oh, that's so sad," and we started our dinner. Literally, what we
Hmm.
did.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Also with other closer by happenings like Kosovo and everything, but
Hmm.
I'm not gonna go into it. But
It's okay. No,
we
it's
really had that mentality. That's far away. It doesn't happen to us.
yes.
And these days, well, you just see the what happened in America feels so close that a lot that it sprung up all around the world. So there is really a difference, I think.
But it's strange that I have never heard about this civil war about the Tutsi, and the body count was like 900,000.
It was
I don't
close
know.
to a million people dying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
but at the same time, it's Africa. We don't learn about Africa usually. We just hear about Africa. I mean, Europe and every other colonies just went to Africa, took everything they wanted, and then just left chaos behind. And I think that's the problem, because we left chaos and not
Yeah,
not.
I know we did. That's where the Belgian state went wrong. But on the northern, I believe it's in the north, the Congo, there was also a Belgian colony, but not really from the country Belgium. It was from the Belgian king.
Hmm.
So it was private country of the Belgian king then.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with the movie. Let's start with the movie,
we,
because
we
if
we
you're gonna go
started
with
with we started with the movie. It's fine. This is the point of it.
Oh,
can't get
by the
political.
way, for those that don't know, uh, I myself am a Belgian, so
you're a
watch
Belgian.
watch what you're
Okay.
saying.
no, no.
I'm just
I got
kidding.
my eyes on you. I got my eyes on you.
Uh, okay, so I don't know if the approach we had last time, like going through different stages of the movie, was rather the best approach of it. I'd like to maybe try to maybe someone asks questions about different things or points out different aspects of the movie that they like after I ask some of the things that I thought about, like the memorable scene that I wanted to see whatever each of you saw. Um, so again, there's a bit more thematics brought up in the movie, and I'm curious what you identified. Um, so two of them, of course, are the main character's life, and basically the movie is around the main character, and the other was the Civil War. But what other thematics have you seen in the movie? Like, do you understand my question, or?
Well,
Thematics.
Which other teams? Well,
Teams, yeah, teams.
Yeah, teams.
it's kind of hard to disravel them, but
Okay, the opportunist. Opportunist? Yeah,
Opportun-
opportunist. I think Gregoire, the one that was in the at the counter in the beginning of the movie, he was basically changing sides and threatening Paul in the beginning.
Mhm.
He's the opportunist because mate, I just wanted to slap through the screen Gregoire a couple of times just so because as soon as the war started, I don't know why he went like this, but he moved to the presidential suit, and after that he was threatening everybody, saying that if you're not gonna do like I say so, I'm gonna say that Tutsi people are here,
Mhm.
and later on, he took the car and went to George, the one that basically was part of the civil war, and told all the people that UN was taking out people from the hotel, and also Paul was the bad guy, and you should kill Paul if you want to succeed in this coup d'etat or civil war.
You identify a
So I
good thing here, but I don't think he's the only character that was of that sort because there's also George, which also took opportunity to actually show himself because he was still thinking ill, and from the first interaction I saw that Paul had with him. And also I forgot the name of the military leader, Buzum something. He was
Bizimungu
also yes, he was also the same kind of character because he would only do something if opportunity came in his favor. But it's a good team you've identified, though.
yeah. Yeah, but I feel like the others didn't profit as much if you think if you see it
They
like
did.
I mean, sort of. They profit a lot more than Gregoire, but I feel like Gregoire has a better impact on all of them because if it wasn't for Gregoire, UN would have just left with the truck and everything, with all the people in the beginning. Like later on in the movie, we just left with all the people, and nobody
Mhm.
would found about them. Where George and Bizimungu takes a second place or something like, "You're calling for me for help, so I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna take more as much as I want to." Okay.
I think one of the reasons Gregoire went to the phone to the phone and told the Hutu, how do I call them, the Hutu,
Right?
the Hutu,
Resistance?
yeah,
the
Radio.
Matahari. So the Hutu, not rebels, the movement.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
well, one part maybe it was some kind of revenge apart from taking opportunity to side with the Hutu rebels.
Yeah, I think Gregor's decision at that point was two-part. He really hates Paul, and he really got scared on that river road. So he didn't want to get
Killed in just like the
yeah,
others.
shown off the same side as Paul was. He
Mhm.
didn't want to be an ally of Paul and get killed for. Let's face it, Gregoire doesn't believe in anything except money.
Oh, yeah. What was funny though, and I didn't really understand why he got so scared by the military chief threat, Gregoire. He straightened up. That moment when he threw water on him, and he was like, "Oh, magically he's back to being obedient."
Ah, yes, but that is because you. Well, we never experienced it, I believe, how oppressive a military can be, especially if they're
Okay,
only serving their own interests.
okay.
they wouldn't go, well, oh, you said a bad thing to me, shoot him.
Hmm.
That's the kind of military there was.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay,
that's
makes
Okay.
why.
sense. Okay.
Yeah, he wanted to respect the military. Okay, okay, yeah, I can see what I can see that point. I don't see, I cannot see another point why Gregor just jumped, uh, except for being afraid of the military and of the general.
Yeah.
Okay. So any other things you
Okay,
saw?
another team, UN not being useless. So, and at the same time being useless. So the UN soldiers basically were put there to make peace, right? But they couldn't shoot. They
No,
couldn't shoot. They couldn't
sorry.
shoot one bullet. You want to say something?
Captain,
I say.
sorry, Tilly. Even the captain said that they are not here to make peace, but they're here to maintain peace.
Yeah,
Yes.
to maintain peace, but at the same time, maintaining peace in some cases is just shooting something. I
Mm,
mean,
that's
imposing your point of view. I mean, I understand because you're UN and they don't want to make one force basically join one force or the other, but at the same time just make sure people are not killing each other.
yeah, but you have to understand the fact that if one bullet was shot, they would
Yes,
basically sign death. They sign the
uh,
pact with death because at that point they would break any thing that they discuss with the Hutus and whatever. So they would not have any protection at that point, right?
yeah, but I think in the beginning they didn't have protection from Hutu as well because they were maybe the Hutu military.
They
Yes,
respected the peace treaty they had, I believe, still, as long as no casualties were made, you know?
No, that was not the motivating behind the blue helmets, as we call them here. So the UN peacekeeping force, the most important thing is neutrality.
Mm-hmm.
So not choosing either side, not fighting either side, and that has been in every conflict that the UN has sent troops. There was even, I believe, it was in Kosovo or somewhere else, where an entire peloton of UN soldiers came under fire, and they weren't allowed to shoot back.
Wow.
yeah. So basically, in one word, useless. So I'm just gonna say it right now. But at the same time, just to prove my point, the actual colonel, um, actually tried to do stuff for Paul and people in at the hotel. He went and speak with the rebels, Tutsi rebels, with the Hutu rebels for the exchange and everything. And without him, we couldn't have the um, people from a hotel actually leaving there in one piece. So that's what I'm saying. Like that guy actually tried and tried again until he succeeded.
I think there was more of a series of events that led to some help. It was people writing to their liaisons
Friends outside
or
the
friends
country.
outside the country. It was Paul calling the actual manager of the hotel and begging him basically to help them, plus all the other things. So, but yeah, he was part of the reason they got some
Yeah,
help.
some help. Um,
Cool. Uh, cool. Let's talk Paul. Let's leave Gregoire. Let's talk Paul. Let's talk about how complex his character is, and let's talk about how he acted, how he what impressed you the most, what would you have done better, or I don't know.
he had a lot of friends everywhere, but as soon like in 30 minutes after the uh, the movie started, you notice that all his friendships were based on actually giving and taking. So when he didn't had anything to give, he didn't had friendships. He didn't had anything. So basically, he was a businessman in the beginning, and later on, he was a businessman that thought he had friendships because he was paying stuff. But later on, he found out that he was just a businessman that lost his all his properties, if I can say that, all his money.
Yeah, but I think Paul wasn't ignorant of this fact. I think he knew very well that as soon as he does not provide or give or bribe, he will
I,
be left with nothing.
I mean, I think there were um, one scene when he called Bizimungo the general and he asked for help, and Bizimungo was, "If you don't have anything for me, I'm not gonna help you." So he didn't he didn't actually know 100%. Like you said, Alexei, he knew about these things, but I think he still had a once of hope that his actual relationships weren't just business relationships and actual friendships.
Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, indeed. But you see his character evolving a lot, like most of us would. So in the beginning, he shuts off his senses to everything what's going around. He keeps on denying it because he has saved up all these favors. He thinks, right? With all these
Yeah.
favors, I'm gonna be okay. My family's gonna be okay. I'm not gonna use it for anyone outside the family. He literally says that. Uh, and along the way, he discovers that the favors weren't as worth as much as he thought.
Yes. And also, to be frank here, I mean, everybody, if we were put in the same position, we would fight for our family first, and he did the same. Like 100%, he fought for the family. I think later on, with all the events, all the people that were killed left and right, and everything, his opinion changed, and he was like, "I need to help these people because I am the only person that can help them." Because in the beginning, like you said, Tark, uh, his opinion was only help the family. I'm gonna keep my family in a special suit. All the other people in the not the guest rooms. What do you call it?
The refugees.
Employee rooms. They put all the refugees in the employee rooms, and he was, my family is the first thing, the other are the second. This thing didn't change throughout the movie, but the second thing, like the other people and other refugees, became more important throughout the movie. Like in the beginning, they were kind of important, sort of like, yeah, you can stay here so you don't get shoot and be dead. But later on, he actually was putting himself in danger to save other people.
Okay, so in regards to this, so what
I
Tarn.
wanted to
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
answer. Mm, mm, Speaking of character development, I think that some scenes in the movies were like depicted his shift from I will serve my family mentality to I must try to save all the refugees in the camp, and
Mhm.
maybe the most obvious was the road by the river with all the corpses, and maybe in part when he spoke to the colonel and he understood how little African or Rwanda people mean to everybody else. I mean, mostly Western civilization.
Okay. To add on your point, Alexei, I think another episode was in the beginning when all the refugees went to his house, and from his house the army picked him up because he had the keys to the diplomat safe, and they're basically he bought all the other people, the cockroaches. He bought the cockroaches, if I can use the speech that people use in the movie, and he actually tried to fight for them. I think that's it. Is basically a premonition of what's gonna happen in the movie.
Yeah, but at his house, I think it was more of uh, satisfying his wife and his children's thoughts than being out of a sense of his own sense of comradeship and everything. Later on in the movie, when he puts her on the truck and he closes off, that's him because his morals can't take it anymore. He just can't leave them. He feels that way really. At his house, he does it for his wife. That's what I believe, at least.
Mm, mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good point. Good point.
Yeah, so around this, so you said that he was storing up favors. Basically, I think at one point he even says out loud that I thought I had the same rights and privileges as white people, but I don't. He understands that at one point. Uh, I'm not sure exactly when he says it, but he does understand that at one point, and that all his diplomacies, all his efforts were just at, I don't know, momentarily insurances that he's um, respected, let's say, or providing the best food, the best drinks, the best everything at the hotel, and people would show him respect for him providing those things, but not for the fact that they considered him equal.
Yeah, yeah.
At
Um,
so
Go ahead. Go ahead. No.
at some point he feels ashamed of how he was tricked in this way of life as a hotel manager. And I think I don't remember exactly the words, but he says about no about the what it about the
Doing all the favors, buying all the food for the rich, and
yeah
he thought
about
he would help
the
them.
booze about I don't remember very clearly that
I
moment, but
believe it was
yeah,
when the whites were evacuated. He says to his wife, I'm such a fool. They told me I was the same as them, and I believed them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those were the words around that.
Yeah, I mean, doing all these favors actually he helped him because he could have called he called the director of the company he works on, and because of this he was given a second chance because the army went in the hotel, and because he called the director, basically gave him a second chance, and all the people from the actual hotel had a second chance because of his call.
That was because that he did the trick he explained to everyone else there first to keep them and make them feel as if they let you go, then you're gonna die.
Yeah,
Make
yeah,
them
yeah,
feel ashamed, shame them into helping you. It's what he tells everyone else to call your contacts, shame them into helping you.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I don't think that call itself was being making that director ashamed so he can help him. I think the director was genu he
Genuine.
Genuinely.
actually
Yeah.
yeah, he actually wanted to help Paul, and not because he was ashamed of this, and because I don't know, maybe he didn't have the connection, but I think he heard of Paul and how he does work, and if he's a good or not worker or not. So I think the actual director wanted to help and not was it wasn't ashamed put a, to actually help other people. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's more of he heard that they were gonna die, and the first thing he said, "Who can I call to stop this?"
Yeah.
To the deaths. Huh?
Yeah.
Not because Paul is a good employee or anything, but there he said 800 guests and 100 staff there, 900 people. Right?
Yeah.
He actually
Yeah.
said that. That's being shamed into helping, because how else are you gonna live with yourself if you let 900 people die without even trying to do anything?
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. The scene, no, Tangard. He says something like, "You must write to them as holding their hands, and if they let go,
You can try it.
you will die." Something in
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, Steph. I feel like you're too quiet. You
No,
need to
I'm
continue.
just I'm enjoying the conversation that's resolving around. I have a lot of things to say, but it's not. I want to let everyone have their own chance to say things, and I don't. I try not to monopolize the discussion because that's not the point of this, in my perspective. I like to see what other people saw in the same scenes that I saw, and it's different. Yeah, I think that Paul is a rather complex character overall, and his development, as Torngard mentioned, is you can see it throughout the movie, and he learns a lot about his limits, about where family stands, where business stands, where a lot of things that and situations that he had to go through to adapt. He even had that moment when he was in the room crying, like he felt lost, and he was fucking lost uh, at that point, and yet he still found the strength to keep going, to keep fighting. And as Tarn said, the moment when he had to decide to leave his family and stay with the people and try to save as much as many of them as possible, uh, uh, even though his wife blamed him for doing so because it was not his decision to make. And in a way, I understand that he is a family person and he wanted to protect his wife and his kids, but in a family context, you don't make decisions like this on your own. And there's other moments like the one time that he told Tatiana that you grab the children and you jump off the building. And there was that moment when he basically panicked because he thought they jumped, but they were in the bathtub. And so many other moments when he just it you could see like the actor was so good at expressing the feelings that you would go through in situations like that. So as you hated Gregoire, which again, it's like compare it to Game of Thrones, that blonde little kid that I would slap. I forgot Joffrey or what's his name. Yes,
Yes.
when you get those strong feelings from someone acting, it means they're really good at acting that role. So I think they played the role perfectly, and it's amazing. Yeah. And I think everyone played their role pretty good. Like his wife though, I feel like could well again, the focus was on Paul. So the movie was about Paul and the focus was on Paul. Every other things were adjacent, like they're just connected to uh his persona, right? And to his character development. Um yeah. Uh I don't know. Ask questions. It's a free talk anyway. So,
I wanted to say that this movie gave me anxiety. I liked it a lot, but it really gave me anxiety. I I was in a different state before the movie and after the movie. It surely popped some bubbles, of course, and hence the anxiety.
mhm.
But what scene gave you anxiety specifically? Like the scenes where you didn't knew who's gonna be killed, like
No,
in
not
the
in,
truck.
not in that way. The whole idea of the movie, not the movie itself, but what happens in the world and how in some places the life is very cheap and practically no one's going to notice or even care that you will die and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. I must say the movie was well. I expected the
Welcome
movie
back,
to be
Kira.
more dry than this. Uh,
More dry.
yeah. So I actually cried a little during the
Mm-hmm.
movie. So, but I expected it to be more dry subject, to be more well, not as deep going as it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the other themes I saw was the well that they tried to depict, which I know exists, the hypocrisy of hate. If you can follow me with that. So they hated the Tutsis. uh, they weren't allowed to live. They you should annihilate them all. But what did they do with the women? I took them for themselves, had fun with them. I'll keep it on that level. Uh, and that's just how hypot- hypocritic hate really is. Every kind of hate for other people only goes as far in your thoughts as the Nazis did it with the Jewish. They raped their women. Um, the Americans did it with the black people.
Yes.
All of them. Oh, I hate you. I don't want you to touch me or anything. Oh, but I do want to your wife.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
No, it's true. It's
keep
No,
my
I know.
words a little bit PG for Steph's channel.
no, no, it's fine. No, I don't. You can say whatever you want. It's not. It's I marked my channel as 18 plus, so it's uh, and it's something that it needs to be called out. It's rape, and it's not. It's always done in hateful actions, and it's a form of humiliation and of considering yourself in control and overpowering someone that is weak. Uh, so yeah, it's been done. It's been done in the past. It's done in the present. It's gonna be done in the future, unfortunately, in many places of the world. And yeah, yes, as TB mentioned earlier, like they killed everyone, but they kept the women as sex slaves in caves. So
Mm, They're
yeah.
always gonna do this when there's hate crimes. It's, I mean, it's sort of like it makes them feel good, uh, because one of the reason people with hate crimes kill the others just to humiliate more, like Steph said, because it's not enough just to kill the guy and make him being humiliated seconds before being killed. You need to go a step further and humiliate his wife, kids, and everything, his own life, which is the sad thing.
Yeah, but they were actually killing children to prevent the next generation to come, which Nazis did too.
Hmm.
But they were providing the next generation, a mixed generation, so to
Which were
speak.
exactly against the thing that we're standing up for, right?
There you
Yeah.
go, the hypocrisy of hate.
Yes, 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 yes.
another thing that I wanna discuss is Tutsi rebels. So the Hutu, right,
Hmm.
killed all the Tutsi they saw. But the Tutsi rebels, I think they only killed the bad guys because in the last scene where people are fleeing from the hotel,
Hmm.
they're passing the rebel Tutsi, and nobody's checking the truck to see if you're Hutu or Tutsi. Everybody's left to go. So, but at the same time, from the part that the Tutsi rebel were, you could have seen a lot of people, which I think they're Hutu, coming from that side, refugees. So I don't know because they didn't talk about Tutsi rebels in this movie. I understand why, but I feel like if they put more emphasis, a little bit more emphasis on the Tutsi rebels, because from this perspective, you see the Hutu as bad people, and they are bad people. I'm not gonna say they are bad people, uh, but at the same time, they don't discuss about Tutsi rebels. Are they doing the same genocide, or they're just basically trying to make a better country?
The Tutsi rebels were already a force. So when the Belgians uh, went
Backed up.
away, they gave the power to the Hutus.
Yeah, yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
And the Tutsis, who had been uh, in favor with the Belgians, were then treated with a lot of hate by the Hutus, denied their rights and everything. And that's how the Tutsi rebellion started. So they were already a kind of military force who were fighting for their rights. At least that's the story. I don't remember exactly anymore how what they exactly did during the. Uh,
The war.
yeah, you can't really call it a war, but during that the massacre, I believe there were news reports of the Tutsis also killing entire villages of Hutus and such.
Huh.
I
I
remember.
don't think there were one side was better than the other in any way. They just went and killed everything and everyone. But if you went there, I think in a surrendering way, I think they would leave you alone rather than uh,
Yeah,
what at least what the movie presented us that the attitude of the Hutus were, which was just identifying Tutsis and killing them on spot.
yeah.
Well, the
The
problem, I
the
think,
Tutsi rebels weren't extremists.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
depends on how historically accurate the movie is.
Uh, I don't know how historically accurate is as any other movie is.
From the story is true. It really happened. The Paul character really exists, and even at the end of the movie, it says that he lives in Belgium with his wife.
Yes.
So I
It,
think it was pretty accurate, but maybe they purposefully like omitted some parts, maybe to favor the Tutsi or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know history, so
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, it's his point of view, his story. It's subjective to his own experiences. So he saw the Hutu as bad people, where maybe the Tutsi in that moment were worse than the Hutu. I'm just saying. But at the same time, if I've read on Wikipedia, is the actual Tutsi won the civil war, and they gave a president who fought for rights for both those people, Hutu and Tutsi, altogether. So if we go by Wikipedia, the Tutsi rebels were better, and they were actually trying to have
Yeah,
both have the same rights.
we also gotta make it the distinction. It wasn't the Hutus who were killing everyone. It was an extremist faction.
okay.
Uh,
Yes. Agree.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
the Rwanda. I don't know the. It sounds correct, but I don't know if it's correct. Were an extremist faction. There were extremist fascists, supremacy group. You know,
yeah.
if they had
Ah,
succeeded.
yes, Interhamwe. Yes,
Interham.
Interahamwe.
Okay.
Interahamwe. Okay. It's a Hutu paramilitary organization active in the Democratic Republic. They carried out the Rwandan genocide. Okay, so you are very correct, my dear friend. Interahamwe is the. Go ahead. Sorry
Yeah,
for interrupting you.
anyways, they were an extremist faction. They were not just Hutus because, as you could see, Hutus were shot as many times as the Tutsis. It was the normal people in between three factions. You had the Rwandan army, the um, the Hutu paramilitary there, and you had the Tutsi rebels. Those three were fighting, and the normal people were just caught in between as usual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always the
The
civilians
innocent that
that
are killed.
suffer the casualties of extremist ideas. Cool. I I don't know. The movie was filled of a lot of emotions, as Alexei said. Maybe for me, maybe not necessarily anxiety, but it it surely was loaded with a lot of emotion uh, for myself as well. I did watch this movie quite a while back, maybe 10 years ago, but I didn't remember a lot of the scenes, so I did rewatch it on Monday as well. Um, I don't necessarily know what else is worth discussing. Would let's say, would you? What would you rate it? 5 out of 7 with rice, right?
I have to say when.
With rice.
Yeah.
No, but like out of 10 points, what would be your rating?
I kind of like the movie. I'm kind of biased in that perspective. I'm gonna give it a good mark, 9 out of 10. I feel like they could have put more things into it. Also, a funny story about this movie. I was supposed to watch this movie, uh, because on Reddit somebody said that they cried on when watching this movie, and I wanted to see if it's possible to cry during a movie. I didn't cry during this movie, but at the same time, I understand why people are crying because their scenes full of emotions where Paul thinks his wife died and everything is going sideways. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna give it like a good mark, 9 out of 10. It's actually a good movie. I feel like it's actually a good movie where all the characters are well. They know how to act. They even this characters that only last for like 30 minutes, like the reporter or anything else, he had an important thing to do there to to basically make us leave our shells, right? Because he said the thing with we're gonna put people gonna watch this and they're gonna continue with dinner. So they want they want us to think about all the things that are happening today in the world, and I think all the characters had this thing of making you think about the life and everything.
Okay.
Maybe an 8. Yeah, for a two-story movie at least. Because I give ratings on movies in their own category, so that's how I do it. I felt like some of the characters were kind of one-dimensional,
Mm-hmm.
like Tatiana.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like there should have been more in that character. I kind of felt it. She fell a little bit flat. Um, and some of the stereotypes, like oh, how the one he drives with the van in the beginning of the movie. Um, I forgot his name, but he was kind of character more than an actual fully fleshed out, even for a background character. And of course, the general. I found him to be kind of a caricature too. The general of the Rwandan army. So
Okay.
didn't find that character really compelling.
I think you were referring to Dube.
Yeah.
Dube, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, in regards to Tatiana, I kind of agree. Tatiana, at one moment, I understand is the end of the world, but you need to understand that your husband actually wants to save you.
Mhm.
She just he. I felt like she wasn't thinking about sacrifices. She
Enjoy your dinner,
wanted
Kira,
everybody
and
to
see you
live,
next time.
which I understand it's a good thing to do,
Bye.
but at the same time, you need to plan ahead for the worst scenarios where Paul was thinking about the worst scenarios ever, and Tatiana didn't want to listen to them, which I feel like you should have listened in case something goes sideways. You need to know what to do.
Alexei?
Um, well, I'd give it 8 stars. It's a good movie, of course, but I have a stupid minor issue with unnecessary movie stars in the movie. I'm not talking about Paul, but I'm talking like, you're doing such emotional and powerful and such a great movie in general, and you see a scene. It's like the dude from Leon is talking to Paul,
Mm-hmm.
or even if not so obvious, the cameraman, which I believe is was played by the dude from the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, or I don't know how to pronounce his name. That is like the single, like I said, minor stupid issue I had with this movie.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Alexei, if I can ask you a question, why do you feel the cameraman played by Joaquin Phoenix was a bad character?
No,
No, it wasn't bad.
I
No,
wanted to say like, maybe apart from the cameraman.
oh, okay, sorry,
He
I
did a good
misunderstood.
job. A small part, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's like small things that bother you, small stupid things that bother you.
It's your opinion, and it's fine. It's not
It's
like I'm a movie critic and my mark will mean anything more than this discussion. And uh, I understand. It's fine. It's okay.
I just wanted to have more input. Sorry,
Go
that didn't want to put you on the spot.
go ahead. If Alexei is done, you can go ahead. I'll speak less.
I'm done.
Yeah,
Oh, you're done? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with an 8 out of 10 as well. Again, minor issue, as Alexei just said. Just but for me, in general, I don't like movies based on actual stories. Again, this was an historical thing that happened, and it's good to raise awareness of things like these. I just don't like movies based on real stories in general. Overall, there was a lot of action going on, a lot of character development, except for the linear characters, which were quite a few. But yeah, I would definitely recommend the movie. Definitely recommend the movie, and maybe it's not as filled with things as you said, TB. But think about the last movie we saw, which was on the opposite spectrum. It was really filled with so many characters, so
Yes,
many things going on. So at the end of the day, you gotta understand genre. This is a drama movie. Again, not top of my favorite for a drama movie. Again, an 8 out of 10 for me is a pretty big mark because I'm not a big drama movie fan. But Yeah, it was a good watch. It was a good remembering of a history lesson in a way, and there's things to be learned from different aspects of the movie. Like again, I know I stressed that scene about us enjoying our dinners and whatnot, but in general, just appreciating. Like I know I insist on this every day, and in general, when I talk to my friends, I say that we have to be. I mean, maybe we are not living the best life we could, but we sure are living decent lives. And I am, when I see these kind of movies, it's just another thing that reminds me to stay humble and to be grateful of what I've managed to accomplish and where I am right now. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I have one question for you, Steph.
Yeah.
Why do you dislike historic movies?
Not historic movies. I just don't like things based on real.
Real
Like
stories?
Which
when I
one?
see when I see that line based on a real story, it's just something that I don't like. It's just a personal
Yeah.
stupid thing that I don't like.
I have the same issue, Steph.
Yeah.
Mm, Usually, I like my movies as far from reality
I'm
as
sick of reality. As it is. I'm not sick of reality, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I
Cool.
mean, in some cases, it feels like putting that line, it's a true story, makes you feel more empathic with the actual movie.
Hmm.
And maybe that's why people don't like it. I mean, I don't like. I mean, I kind of like watching true stories because I want to see what people can do in time of need. But at the same time, they're usually when it says it's done by a true story, they usually change some stuff in the actual story to make
You
it.
have to understand putting stuff into a movie is you can't go as accurate. And plus facts are lost in
And also remember that the movies that only dealt with the real facts are the movies we haven't heard of.
that's
They
also
always
true.
have to change it a bit to appeal to the audience.
Yes.
Yes, true.
yeah. The whole idea of movies is to be sold. Nobody will. How can I say it in English?
Unless
No,
it's documentaries. But
nobody
even
will give.
those.
Nobody will give money to a director who will make a raw like the whole idea is that movies are biased. There are
Yes.
people that writing the script, the director, the producers, and they want to sell that product. So, but no, the movie was good. I am not talking about this movie. I am talking about the general idea of movies nowadays, before
Hmm.
the golden age of the cinema.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, how did you guys the worth of the money? Could you guys find yourself in that, or do you need a comparison of some sort? Because they put 10,000 francs on each of the family members of Paul's
Hmm.
heads. eh? But that's 10,000 francs. That's 10,000 Belgian francs also in that day. 40 francs was 1 euro.
Oh,
So
40 francs
their heads
one
were
euro.
only worth 250 euros each.
Hey, that's cheap, mate. That's
I
kind of cheap.
don't I don't know what the have the lowest pay would be in that year in Rwanda so that I could say how much 250 euros is. I know again you putting a price on someone's head is wrong from the get-go, but I can't put into perspective what it meant as money
Well,
in
it
that
was
age, in that year, not age, in that year and in that specific location.
Hmm. Yeah, I realize that, but that's just to put it in perspective. 250 euros, and people were actually going for that. 250 euros to kill uh, a child.
What what I didn't understand in terms of money was why did the military general refuse those Rwandan money at that
Uh,
later
uh,
stage in the movie?
um, as I gather, as many corrupt people, he was planning to escape to
Flee the
another
country.
country.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm. Okay.
and with that civil war breaking out, the Rwandan franc dropped a lot, so wasn't worth anything anymore.
Okay. Okay. I was thinking about the war and the fact that the money would go down in value. I wasn't thinking about the fact that they wanted to flee the country, which makes a lot of sense now that. Mhm.
Yeah,
I thought 10,000 francs, Belgian francs, was close to 10,000 euros, and I was like,
No, no,
okay,
no, no. Far
yeah,
from.
Mhm.
far from it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, okay, okay, that's kind of strange to hear, but at the same time, it was in 19.
44, I think, 1994,
1994, yeah.
1994, which wasn't that
Yeah,
long ago if you think about it.
yeah, exactly.
It's just 26 years ago. It's
if you are
It's not.
millennial, it's not that long.
Yeah, yeah.
if you were born in the 2000s, it's long ago.
Another thing that I want to discuss is the kind of the thing with the alcohol and beer. Was Rwanda like a country that you're prohibited to drink alcohol? I mean,
No, I don't think so.
because everybody was,
It was import beer. That was the catch. You
yeah,
were special for drinking Heineken and whatever else they had.
Yeah, most people weren't wealthy enough to have access to a stiff drink like whiskey and
Hmm.
everything.
And also
yeah,
think about it this way, TB, when he explained to his employee again, I forgot his name. Jesus, I stole
Too bad.
Dube.
Dube. Thank you. When he explained to Dube, uh, I go to this guy with 10,000 francs or whatever he said. It's not gonna be anything. But if I bring him this stupid cigar, it's gonna be classy. It's gonna
Yeah,
be something you don't have access to. And I think that was basically the hotel, Colline de Mille, or what was it called, was a luxury hotel. So you would
okay,
go there to like
Yeah,
every foreigner would go to that hotel when visiting Rwanda because it
yeah,
was high class
and
over there.
also because it's Central Africa,
Mhm.
and as we mostly know, there aren't many luxury products being produced in Africa itself.
Mhm.
It has to be imported from Europe, the Americas, all around. So it's kind of hard to get to.
yeah. I understand this, but I thought for a second they have, I don't know, they would have their own beer. I mean, okay, I understand they put focus because it's imported beer, but at the same time, I didn't see normal beer like Rwanda beer there. I know it's a luxury, but at the same time, the most expensive Rwanda beer should be there. I'm just saying. I'm just putting my my two
Uh,
cents here.
well, the upgrade was Heineken, which is Dutch beer.
Dutch beer, yeah.
by the
Yeah.
I every country in the world has a beer, but for some reason of another, we around here, Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, have extra strong beers.
I know. I know. I've been there. I like it.
So
Maybe the fact that it was a luxury hotel, maybe they didn't want to have Rwanda beer in the menu. Maybe, I don't know. I'm speculating. I'm just a
Yeah.
friend.
Could be the case. Could be the case.
yeah, it's also most products that are were from Rwanda itself uh, weren't that sought after.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
as with many of the African countries, well, more to the Central African countries have that problem uh, because they've come from tribal a tribal system, and we've put our values onto them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the discordance that you also feel there. Um, uh, they don't really have never put work into making alcohol uh, and gold and ivory.
Okay.
It's us, the Westerners.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
Cool. I if you have any other things you'd like to discuss around the movie, if not, I think it's a quite a good moment to wrap it up, I guess. Uh,
One,
yeah, go.
one last thing, maybe Tangar knows more about it. I was a little bothered that in the whole movie there were only English words, and I have read in Wikipedia that they have their own language. They also speak Shwali, French, and English, but the whole movie is in English, and maybe it's my ignorance, and I don't know how things work in Rwanda, and if there is a reason why the whole movie.
I think most of that was just a movie, to
Yes.
be honest. That's just to appeal to the folks, because Americans don't like to read
Exactly.
on a movie. That's just to. I think most of the conversations between him and the general would have been in Rwandan. Uh, but when he is speaking to Westerners, it would have been English.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of approve with your opinion that most people that have their first language as English, they don't like to read subtitles. I have a friend that is British and he doesn't like to read subtitles because he's not used to reading subtitles. So having a movie in English, it's basically having more money in the home office in USA, NEK.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. And the last memorable thing uh, was the song. It's called Million Voices, and it's absolutely amazing. And I will share it with you guys after we end this.
Okay, okay.
Cool. As I said the last time, this is really fun for me, even though maybe it seems chaotic still. But we're gonna learn about talking to each other, with each other, and it's probably gonna be better. And if you have any ideas of the structures, or if you want to think about questions for the next movies, it will help me a lot. um, Cool. Thanks a million for being with me again today and for sharing these moments with me and talking to me about the same movies I enjoyed as well. And I hope you'll have the time to be here in 2 weeks' time.
Hope so. Hope so.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Uh,
Cool.
Okay.
I'll
okay.
Have a nice week, guys. See you next time.
have a
See you next
good
time.
evening and thank you.
See you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Steve. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Just us two. Do you have someone specific in mind to rate, or
Oh, no. Do you want to rate the same person?
well, that would be kind of cool.
Let's. Who are we rating?
Let me pull you up. Let's see who's online.
Rate channel.
Here you go.
I'm okay with absolutely anyone. So
Absolutely anyone.
just give me a name.
How about Bear Dogs Gaming?
Bear Dogs Gaming it is.
They can use the support.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks, Tarn. It was a pleasure. Again, I know it maybe feels a bit chaotic still, but
It will always be.
it's the second run and it's the second movie we're talking about. And for me, I really don't necessarily feel the need to be the center scene. I like hearing opinions, and this was really fun for me. So, cool. Till next time, then. I'm
Till
gonna
next time.
peace, my man.
Later.
Much love. Okay, so we're gonna raid Beer Dogs Gaming in 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Hope you have a lovely day or evening, and I will see you next time.
Cacti.
Thank you for the raid!
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hi!
Welcome to everyone.
Yes. Welcome all to the stream.